Welcome to Monet Cafe Studio and the fourth in my winter study series. This whole series is great for beginners. I use very affordable products, and this fourth painting happened to be my favorite. And as you know, if you've seen the previous videos, I'm using a different set of pastels for each of these four paintings. And for painting number 1, I used the Diane Townsend Landscape A set. And for painting number 2, I used a small set of Sennelier pastels. They're 40 half-stick set. For painting number 3, I used a beautiful set of Terry Ludwig pastels. It's the Richard McKinley set. And now it's time to complete the series with painting number 4. Let's go over these products again quickly. I'm once again using this lovely reference image that's from unsplash.com. I will have that in the description of this video along with all product links. The surface is Canson MiTientes pastel paper. It's an unsanded pastel paper that's quite affordable and great for beginners. What I used was a page out of the Gray Tones pad. There's 24 sheets. Each sheet is 12 inches by 16 inches. I used I think it was the second to last color in that. It's a kind of a tan color. And again, you can use whatever surface you have. Now let's check out the pastel set that I'll be using for painting number 4. It is the surprisingly affordable and great quality 40 set of Paul Rubens soft pastels. These are great for beginners because they're very affordable. And wouldn't you know it, right after I made this painting and video, Paul Rubens stopped carrying their 40 set on Amazon. They do, however, have a 72 set, and they also now have a new set I have never used before. It's their 96 set of pastels. It's so affordable. It's $105 for almost 100 pastels, and there's even a $10 coupon you can apply currently. So I believe this set will have all of the colors that I used in this painting, and I've already reached out to the company to get a set to do another product review. So I still think this is one of the best values for beginners for a good set of soft pastels to get started with. This is the only painting in the series where I did use another little set of pastels. I used just a few of the turquoise colors in a 30 half-stick set of Unison soft pastels, and I just felt like I needed a little bit more of that pretty turquoise color. And if you've followed along with this series, you know this is the 4th time I'm doing this painting, so I'm really speeding up the sketch here. I've done it 4 times, and that's the great thing about doing things multiple times is you don't get this fast, but you do get faster at it, and you get better at sketching. Now again, they don't have this set on Amazon now, but the 96 set, I believe it will have all of these colors that I'm using. And I want to reiterate what's exciting to me about actually all 4 of these paintings is it proves that you really can get started as a beginner with soft pastel if you're on a limited budget. This surface is so affordable. The Canson MiTientes pastel paper, even though it's unsanded, you can still get good results, and you can get good results with a limited set of pastels. So that should be encouraging for beginners. Again, I have all product links in the description of this video. I also have my Amazon shop where I even have a suggested list, an idea list it's called, for beginner products. So check that out. I have a link to my Amazon shop in this video as well. Now this version on the Monet Cafe channel, as you can see, is sped up, but you can always slow the video down using the gear icon on YouTube. It's at the lower right-hand corner of the video. You click it and you can go to speed and you can slow things down. Now, I always say, turn the volume down to this video because my voice or the music will sound pretty weird. And if you would like the full real-time tutorial with all of the commentary, you might want to consider becoming a patron of mine. Again, it's only $5 a month, not a week, not a day, but a month. It's very affordable, and you unlock hundreds of videos. You also get to become part of my Patreon family, share your work. We have a great community, learning and growing together. It's just a really happy place in the world. So check that out if you'd like to become a patron. And if not, enjoy the hundreds of free videos here on Monet Cafe as well. Now, I'll be back when I get to the portion of, I'm going to slow it down, and I'm going to talk a little more when I add some of those turquoise colors from the Unison set that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. All right, enjoy, guys. I'll be back soon. All right, this is the point where I was like, you know what? The only color I could find with the value that I wanted was this little pale, kind of bluish teal color. And it didn't have enough punch for me. I wanted a little more punch. So that's why I grabbed this little unison set. I only used those, I don't know if I used that one. These turquoise colors, maybe those three. And that's the only other pastels I used in this, just to give a little color vibrancy. And I think you'll see how these turquoise colors just bring this color palette to life. I'm carving this color down into the trees. It's called sky holes or negative painting, where you're kind of carving the trees out negatively. And I'm adding some of the same color to the shadowy areas on the hill and the road. Blues, purples, turquoise colors are great shadow colors in snow. And of course, I'm using the lighter turquoise color to give the lighter areas of the hill and the road, the parts that are higher and catching more of the light. I happen to love a color palette of complementary color of orange and blues. Orangey reds and blues look so pretty together. And my mark making up to this point has been rather soft or light touch. And my marks are now starting to get a little bit more punctuated. In my recent video on mark making, you should check that out. It's great for beginners, talking about various mark making techniques you can use with soft pastels. I actually describe kind of the process of when to switch from keeping a really light, easy touch to gradually getting our strokes and our pressure a little bit harder to give some, I call it staccato marks. If you're familiar with music, staccato music is where it's a little bit more short and dramatic. And so some of my mark making here is kind of similar to that. And that's really the process that we do with pastel painting. We typically like to start out with a light touch and reserve our final punctuated marks and pressure marks for later in the painting. As you can see, I'm just developing things as a whole. Notice how I move all over the whole painting. I think it creates a more unified painting that way. Now look at this gorgeous color that was in the Paul Rubens 40 set. Again, I can't find that set on Amazon anymore, but I bet you that color is in the 96 set. I just thought that red, it was a cool red, and then I used a little bit of a lighter value red as well. I thought that really just added that punch to this painting. And I asked my husband which painting he liked best out of the four, and he actually liked this one the best. He saw the final, of course, which you don't see here yet, but I did too. It was my favorite out of the four. And what was neat is that it was done with a very affordable set of pastels. So that should be encouraging for beginner artists. I added a little more shadow to the road area, and now I'm going to use a Prismacolor new pastel, these little sticks of harder pastels to get my trees in. And some of these trees that were on more in the foreground, closer to the viewer, I made them a little darker, but I still kept them very gestural. That technique I used to create those wispy looking trees is also in the video on mark making if you want to check that out. I'll have that video as a link at the end of this, at my end screen when this video is done, if you want to click on that. Adding a little bit of this color from the sunset or sunrise, whatever this is, into the snow. And that's called color echoing, where you incorporate some of the same colors throughout the painting. And this really does happen in nature. Often what's in the sky will reflect on land. We know it does in water, but often, even in a field, you'll get some of the sky colors kind of subtly reflected on the grasses. And even if you don't see it, you can use that principle in your painting to just create a more beautiful and dramatic painting. All right, I'm just adding a few of the final marks here. I've slowed it down. And as a general rule of thumb, you don't want too much detail around the perimeters of your painting. For example, the road in the foreground, I didn't want to go in and give too much detail right at the entryway of the painting because the viewer can get hung up on the detail and you want them to easily enter your painting to explore. So it's rather loose here. All right. here are the 4 paintings. I hope you enjoyed this series. This is the final in the series. And I hope, if you haven't already, I hope you'll subscribe to this channel. Become a patron if you would like to get full tutorials. It's very affordable, $5 a month. And also, please like this video and leave me a comment. I love to hear from you. All right, everyone. God bless and happy painting.